Coach Prime didn't hold back about SHEDEUR Sanders' $17.7 million in collecting last year. And also, check this out, Pat McAfee, he talking about SHEDEUR Sanders also, that $17.7 million. Lastly, Jim Schwartz, the former defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns last year, he didn't hold back of what he had to say about the Cleveland Browns and the new head coach, Todd Monken. We getting ready to talk about it all right here on the late night edition of Sports Talk with B. Watts. Do me a favor. You got to do me a solid. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. Hit that notification button. It'll let you know whenever I go live or drop a video. Will you do that for me? Let's get this show started. Let's go. Coach Prime was speaking on SHEDEUR Sanders' $17.7 million that was reported that he received from jersey sale, card collector, and Coach Prime set the record straight. Listen to what Coach Prime had to say about his son, SHEDEUR Sanders Collective. Let's go.
You know what I'm really proud of? I'm so very proud of my kids, starting with Bucky on the other side of this camera, and all my kids. I just had a kid that made the most money in the history of the NFL in sales. That one even includes jerseys. Y'all don't know that. That was another deal.
That's Coach Prime speaking on SHEDEUR Sanders Collective that was reported from the NFL about that $17.7 million. You heard Coach Prime. He said it's a lot. Everybody don't know. Those numbers wasn't just from jersey sale. No. Coach Prime said, no, that's something else. He set the record straight about SHEDEUR Sanders' $17.7 million. I'm telling you, it wasn't jersey sale, according to Coach Prime. And also, Pat McAfee was speaking on SHEDEUR Sanders of what he accomplished with those $17.7 million. Pat McAfee said, hey, him and his crew, man, we ain't seen nothing like that before. SHEDEUR Sanders. Wrist up, baby. Pat McAfee.
Yesterday, there was a report that came out that SHEDEUR Sanders earned $17.7 million from the NFLPA, the highest in the history of NFLPA licensing deals and business deals with a player. The second highest in history, Travis Hunter, also out of Colorado, $12.8 million. And then Tom Brady was at like 9 point something, the previous record before the two Colorado Buffaloes came into the NFL as rookies and obviously blew that number out of the water. So we were yesterday very pumped for SHEDEUR. Like, hey, hell yeah, you get $17.7 million. But as people that went through it and kind of understand the business behind it, we were so baffled on how the hell did $17.7 million come through just the NFLPA to SHEDEUR Sanders, let alone all his own marketing that he does and all his own businesses, let alone the NFL contract that he gets for being on the team as a fifth rounder, which obviously, and then player performance, which was a bonus on top of it. But this particular $17.7 million, we're all pretty baffled on how it got to that, and then also excited for if this was what it was going to be for future NFL players. So we dug to the bottom of it a little bit more. We got a chance to chat with J.C. Treader, who's the head of the NFLPA, not just head of the players, he's the head of the entire NFLPA. And he said about $15 million-ish came from card deal for SHEDEUR Sanders. Obviously, collectibles are having a run like haven't had in a long time, I think, at this point, especially sports cards with Fanatics and everything else that's taking place. So I believe the sports cards deal for SHEDEUR Sanders was a massive piece. Not just $9 million is what I think was initially reported. I think it was even bigger than that. So we could assume that Travis Hunter was also in the same boat of that case. And it's like, that's how much getting rookie stuff or signed stuff or autograph stuff means to these businesses that are projecting sports cards, I guess, to be on forever and for the future to be even bigger. So congrats to SHEDEUR for being, that important to future trading, that it is getting paid that much money now. That's a wonderful thing to star power, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, it goes to tell you like how I guess the impact he has and the impact he and Travis Hunter both. But yeah, the fact that Panini gets him this gigantic guarantee for the trading cards, it makes sense because your rookie card is going to be your most valuable cards, right? So they want to make sure they get a lock on all of that. Now, is that just a 1-year situation he signed with that? Or is that a lifetime? Like how? Like that's crazy.
It is a incredible deal, whatever, however you cut it. Congratulations to SHEDEUR.
That's Pat McAfee and his crew talking about SHEDEUR Sanders. SHEDEUR Sanders is one of a kind. One of a kind. He crushed Tom Brady numbers. He crushed J.J. McCarthy number from last year. SHEDEUR Sanders crushed. He crushed him. And guess who came in second? Another player from the HBCU and Colorado, Travis Hunter. He came behind them $17.7 million with $12 million. Coach Prime had two. Coach Prime told us, man, I got the two baddest players in college football 2 years ago. He told us that on record. And he didn't lie. He did not lie about it. So I'm happy for SHEDEUR Sanders. I'm happy for Travis Hunter. And it lets you know what the fan base and the fans of the NFL, they're letting you know who they want to see. They want to see SHEDEUR Sanders and Travis Hunter. Not just in Cleveland, not just in Florida, all around the globe. They want to see those two boys because they are must-see TV. Now, the former defense coordinator, Jim Schwartz, had a lot to say during an interview on a podcast about the Cleveland Browns and Todd Monkeys. Let's listen to what he had to say. And when I come back, we're going to end the show. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of is what it was. We had a lot of success on defense, and the Browns made a change at head coach, and they passed over me with all the success that we had and the ability that to develop players. Our best players had their best years, all those different things. And that was the decision they made. They wanted to go with an offensive guy. They chose Todd. I'm fine with that. They can make, decisions that they want to make, but they can't expect me to stay on board for that. Anybody that's in any business, you get passed over for a promotion when you've done a really, really good job in your job, and you think you were in line for that promotion. It's it's time to go. And Todd deserved his own guy. He doesn't. I mean, a forced marriage isn't going to work in the NFL. And like having command of the players and having command of the locker room, all those things are extremely important. And I didn't feel like I could do my job after getting passed over for the head coaching job. It sort of, just put me in a tough position. Hey, we want you to listen to this guy, but we didn't think, we didn't want to make him the head coach. So I made the decision to resign, and I have to sit out this year as a result. But, I think anybody that's been in any business, when, you've done a good job, when you mentioned those numbers, we weren't one of the best defenses in 3 years. We were the best defense in 3 years. And, the decision they made, that's their decision. But to expect me to stay and to be on board for that, that's just a tough situation. And it wouldn't have been good for me, and it wouldn't have been good for Todd. So it was best for him to get his own guy in there and to move forward with him, as opposed to just having an arranged marriage and having me there and maybe having some players more loyal to me than him. It can just be a bad situation. 33 years in the NFL, I'd never been around that before. So, that all went into decision. I wasn't upset about it. I was disappointed about it. I wasn't upset about it. I wasn't mad about it, but it's just, my experience told me that wasn't going to be a situation that was going to work.
That's Jim Schwartz speaking out for the first time since he left the Cleveland Browns as a defensive coordinator. He interviewed for the job. He said it just didn't fit right, just didn't seem right to stay on board as a defensive coordinator when the ownership looked over him as a head coach. So you heard him right there. I don't have to add no words into it. He let you know how he felt about the Cleveland Browns looking over him. Once again, you watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. It's the late night edition. It's the late night edition. Wrist up, W2 in the chat if you're rocking with your boy on this late night show. W2 in the chat. Don't forget, I got a live show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Come on over and chop it up with me. I'm telling you, we're going to have a good time tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. Until then, peace.